So today we're going to look at smokers, how to light them and keep them lit, and some tips on that, how to keep them clean and maintain them, and what to look out for when you're buying a smoker, and some of the best materials to use. Okay, so today we're going to look at smokers, and the reason we use a smoker is to get some element of control over the bees. So towards the end of an inspection, we need to smoke the bees so they'll go back down into the hive. And the theory is that in the wild, bees live in a hollow tree and their biggest fear would be a forest fire. So if they smell smoke, they tend to go, and it's an instinct, is to fill their little bellies up with honey. So if you give the bees a smoke, they will go and start to feed. It's an instinct. So by smoking them when we first open the hive, they'll all go down and be busy eating whilst we get on with our inspection. And towards the end, we can smoke them, they'll go back inside, and then we don't squash anybody when we're putting the hive back together. So when we're buying a smoker, they come in different sizes. This is a large one. You can get smaller ones. When I go out to an apiary, I might have somewhere between 10 and 50 hives to do in one apiary. So I like something that keeps burning for a long time. You're looking for one with a shield around it, because sometimes you might have to put this between your legs. If you need both hands and you can't put this down, you hold it between your legs so that you can use your hands, and then you can pick the smoker up and smoke the bees again. So a shield around here is very useful. And this one has a hook on here, so it can be hooked onto the side of your hive or your box or onto something, and it doesn't need to touch the floor or any of your other hives. And then a lip on the lid here so that it can be opened. And inside here there will always be one of these. It's a little grid. When you first buy your smoker, these legs will be flat. It will be like that. So what you need to do is lift them up, bend them out so that they become little legs. And this goes into the bottom of the smoker, like that. And the way this works is you squeeze the bellows. There is a little hole at the bottom here of the bellows, and the air is forced out of that hole into the bottom of the smoker, the can, through here. It goes through that grate. You've got a burning mass inside here, and the smoke comes out through the nozzle. We don't want flames coming out. We don't want hot smoke, because we're not after barbecuing our bees. We just want some gentle smoke. If you've got any herbs around, you can throw some of them in, because that can apparently make quite nice smoke that is not quite as offensive to the bees. So to get started, I prefer to do this without my suit on, because I don't want to burn my suit. Certainly don't want to do it with my veil up and my gloves on, because I'd be clumsy. And you don't want any flashback on your veil, because you end up with melted polypropylene all over your face, and it's not a particularly good look. So to get started, I prefer to use this. This is the packaging that comes whenever you buy any beekeeping equipment from any of the major suppliers. They always pack it in this shredded cardboard, and it lights really, really well. Like most beekeepers, I don't want to go buying stuff if I don't need to, if I already have it to hand and it's free. However, you can buy these wood wool eco lighters, fire lighters, and they are shreds of wood dipped in beeswax, so they light quite quickly. You don't want any petroleum base, you don't want fire lighters or barbecue lighter fluid, nothing like that. Your bees will be very, very angry and quite poorly afterwards if you use something like that to get it started. And then once the fire's going, you can then use all sorts of different materials in here. So we had a tree that came down, and I just left it inside the conservatory over the winter. It was a rotten tree, and now it just crumbles into pieces like this, which is perfect. This is bone dry, and this will produce a really nice, cool smoke for a very long time. Yesterday I had this smoker going for 3 hours, and then I had to put it out at the end of the inspections. You can also use pine cones. These burn really nicely and give a nice cool fire for the bees. Or there's this other product here, which is a cat litter, which is wood based. And these are little pellets of cat litter, but they're wood and they do smoulder really nicely. I was given this bag to try, so they do smoulder nicely and they're quite convenient, easy to get hold of. So to light the smoker, as I say, no soot on. Take your shredded cardboard or material of choice and pop this in the bottom. The grate, making sure that the grate is in place and it's in the right way round. Pop that into the bottom. So you're going to start your fire from the bottom up. A lot of people load the smoker and then light it at the top and wonder why it's gone out by the time they've got the soot on and open the bees up. You start your fire at the bottom. This is a kitchen blowtorch from Amazon, I think it was from. I never use matches because these will just blow out in the field. It's usually quite windy, so they will just blow out. I always have them with me as an emergency in case I need them. And these things are okay, but these are by far the better weapon of choice. So, get the cardboard going and give it a little squeeze. Get some air going through. There we go. Got a nice fire there. And then take your wood. Just pop it in. Pop your pine cones in if you're using pine cones or your cat litter, anything like that, and keep it going. Fill it right up to the top. And then when you're happy that it's going, pop your lid on and out comes your smoke. So we're looking for something that's not hot, there's no heat in that at all coming out. So that's not going to harm the bees. If you burn just cardboard, if that's all you've got for one inspection, that's okay. But this produces a really tarry smoke, and that's not really not good for the bees. They don't particularly like it, and it coats up your smoker. So there we go. That keeps going. If you end up your phone rings or something, so you're not going straight to your hive, just keep giving it a little puff now and again, just to keep it going. If you leave it without pumping it on the bellows, it will eventually go out. So there's all our smoke in there. You can see the tar around here inside the smoker. That's what comes from burning the cardboard. So use your hive tool and give that a good scrape round. Don't forget to put your smoker out at the end. And that means tipping it onto the ground, onto some wet ground if there is any there, or into the grass, and stamp on it, or some hard standing, stamp on it and make sure it's completely out before you leave the apiary. I'm just going to put that down there. If you've got a stream nearby, you could use some water, you could tip it into the stream, or you could pour some water on it, but just make sure that the fire, the smoke, there's nothing smouldering at all when you're leaving. And ideally you don't want to put that into the car when it's still potentially lit. If you do have to, if you're just nipping to another apiary that's just down the road, you can bung some grass into the nozzle, but always put it into a sealed metal container in your car for your own safety. So the smoker always travels in this with me. I prefer to relight it each time I get to a new location, and it always travels in this box. In there I also carry a spare hive tool and a spare bee brush, and all my smoker fuel comes in there with me. That's why I don't want to put a lit smoker in there, because all my smoker fuel is in there as well, so that could be a nice little fire going in there at the end. After your inspection, after you've emptied your smoker, leave the lid open if you can, because that tar can set very quickly around the rim and you can struggle then to open the lid. Once it's gone cool and the tar's set, you can struggle to open that lid up again for your next time you need to use it. What was that, Roxy? Roxy says, if you found this video useful, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, button down here, to see more information, more videos about bees and beekeeping. If you hit the bell icon, that's about here, you'll be notified when we upload new content. Also, let me know in the comments if there's any topics that you'd like to see about bees and beekeeping. And if you go to our website, which is thebeecentre.org, you'll find out loads of information on there, and you can contact us via the website. Thanks for watching. Good girl.
Definitely a good take.
Good girl.
Right.
Ready?